Alright, and welcome back to my Let's Play of The Siege of Avalon here on my channel, Idle Wisdom. We are here again in the Inner Keep in the Fortress of Avalon. Last time we started exploring this Inner Keep, we spoke with General Roth, who charged Callan with the task of discovering the fate of the party he had sent into the caves to secure the Earthstone. They've disappeared. So, we also spoke to the sage Felix, who explained to us that the Earthstone, if it is used in a particular way, would be able to make an ancient temple that has been submerged into the earth resurface right where Avalon is built, and thus completely destroying the fortress. So that's a very dangerous thing. So General Roth says that's bad for security, which I have to think he's kind of right. So we need to continue exploring this place. We picked up Felix's assistant to join us. He's a magician. Oh, who's this? Sir Osla. Go away, I'm not accepting visitors. I'll be on my way then. Jeez. I need Scrouchy. Knock, knock, knock. Hello, lady? Excuse us. Saracina. Once, like many others, I lived on a farm with my family. Now, like so many others, my family is gone. Avalon is my home. Your story is a sad one, but in Avalon, you are surrounded by others who share both your fate and a desire to overcome the beast who caused it. He's like, AKA, stop sniveling. Stop whinging. A letter. We'll pry. Daniel, my love, my life. Every night I think of you, think of your arms around me. How I yearn to touch you again. We get reports occasionally on the situation in Avalon. I must confess that what they tell me terrifies me. Mother suspects that the men who remain in Aratoy are not telling the women everything that comes in the reports. It is so like my father to try to protect me, just as he tried to protect me from you. I don't care about him, though. I know you will return to me regardless of what happens in Avalon. With men such as you defending our great kingdoms, we cannot possibly lose. Come home to me, Daniel. Come home safely. Your loving Joyce. Pardon. Wow. So Joyce is a big... Okay, Daniel thing. My dearest Joyce, how long has it been since I was last near you? Could touch you, smell your hair. If I close my eyes, my mind fills with the memories I have of you. Good memories, all of them. The one I hold closest to me is the night you snuck out of your room to walk with me in the forest surrounding the village. I hoped that night would never end. It did, though, and I left to seek my fortune at Avalon, to make a name for myself, so that I could ask your father for your hand in marriage. I don't regret defending our way of life, but how I wish I could return to you. Writing to you seems to make this place seem less horrible, for horrible it is. Every day, more of our soldiers fall victim to the Shah Ahul, either directly by their weapons or through disease or lack of food. Think not of these things when you think of me, darling Joyce. Think only of that night in the forest and of the kisses we shared. Yours forever, Daniel. Huh. I wonder why... Okay. Well, that wasn't really important for us, but Daniel and Joyce, hopefully they're both okay. I doubt it, though. But you never know. What do I know? We have no manners anyways. Who are you? Lady Fenshire. My husband is a military officer in Orium, but our estates were overrun by the Shah Ahul. So now I'm just another refugee like so many others. I never thought I'd be reduced to such a state. Be glad you have your life, ma'am. Many haven't been so lucky. 'Tis true. 'Tis true. You have a nice room, too. Not out where the peasants are, but of course, why would she be? Who are you? Sir Accolon. Hello there, lad. I'll be short. I'm trying to map this place out in my mind. I'm sure it'll help later. Oh, no problem. I'm Sir Accolon of His Majesty King Rience's retinue. Before you ask, I don't know what a retinue is either. I know the hand that feeds me and the kingdom that raised me, and that's all I need to know. Rightly so, Sir Accolon. Farewell. I met Sir Accolon today. Although he says he has no idea what a retinue is exactly, his loyalty is defined by the hand that feeds him and the kingdom that raised him. As he just told us, that's true. Thank you, Callan, for filling us in on that. No, we can't go that way. What's over here? Nothing. Nothing's over there, that's what. Okay. And what do we have here? It looks like a laboratory. Mara. Ugh, what a stench. I'll never get this heinous smell out of here. I know wizards have strange tastes, but it smells like a slaughterhouse in here. What did Phileas do in here? Backing away quickly. I shall leave you to your work, good woman. Blop, it stinks. It reeks. Phileas. I think General Roth mentioned him as being a wizard, obviously, as she confirmed. Making stenches. Making quite the stench. But he's down in the basement. Maybe the stenches were too much, and people asked him to not. Oh, there's Sir Donadan. He's one of the people who might come with us if we ask. But like I said, I don't know that I want a knight with us. Sir Aether. Aether, with unnecessary enthusiasm and volume. Welcome, youngster. How fare you to this day? Why have you accosted me in such a manner? Fine, actually. Forget my rudeness, but who are you? No offense taken. My name is Sir Aether, and I am a member of King Rience's retinue. I've heard much of your deeds, and you seem to be quite the star on the rise. And rise I shall continue. I thank you, Sir Aether. Just doing my part, actually. He lowers his voice. That's actually the reason I wanted to speak with you. I'm sure you are aware that there are traitors in our midst, and from what I hear, you've had a hand in disposing some of them yourself. As hard as it is for me to admit it, I believe one of my fellows is a traitor. Oh, and who might that be? He sighs melodramatically. It pains me to say this, but I believe good Sir Osla has fallen. He received a letter that he guards jealously. I wouldn't be surprised if it was shut up deep in his footlocker, but I believe it's a message from outside, from the enemy. And I don't know what he has planned, but whatever the reason, that letter has him on edge. And what would you like me to do about it? If you can recover that letter and bring it to me, I shall seek a private audience with our king and expose Osla if that letter is what I think it is. Will you help me with this? Certainly, Sir Aether. I will return to you when I have learned something new. Wow. Welcome, lad. Let's see, we got a quest. Sir Aether, a member of Rience's retinue, has asked me to retrieve a letter from Sir Osla, a fellow knight who he believes possesses a letter proving himself a traitor. Uh-oh. Journal. Oh, there's Sir Aether. One of King Rience's retinue approached me with a strange request. His name is Sir Aether, and he is concerned that one of his countrymen, a man by the name of Osla, has turned traitor. Fascinated, I bid him continue, and he told me that Osla has received a letter that proves he's a turncoat. Aether believes that this letter is from the outside, and that if I can recover the note for him, he can request a personal audience with King Rience, expose Osla's treachery, and bring him to justice. I must find a way to end the threat the conspirators represent, so I've accepted his quest. That's a totally trustworthy face, I'm sure. Those are some giant waffle stompers. Jeez. If you need some waffles stomped, he's your man. What's in here? Who are you? This is Sir Padarn. May I help you with something, son? Oh, he just sunned you. Oh man, he just sunned you. Felix Apprentice is like, oh man, you got sunned, son. Okay, do you have any... Huh. Do you have any advice for a young officer aspiring to greatness? Further our cause. I'm not talking about we Orions, but we humans. Any success that might thwart the Shah will be remembered, and if you pardon me, I must get back to my duties. Duties, of course, farewell. Let's ask him again. What's your position here? I serve under King Rience as a member of his retinue. What is a retinue? He sighs. We've got a lot on our minds, son. I don't wish to be rude, but please leave me to my brooding and pacing. Oh, jeez. Okay. Oh, there's the king of Orium. Remember, Orium is the kingdom that was overwhelmed, so they don't have... I guess he's in residence. Sir Hebron? May I help you with something? Let's just leave them alone. Okay, oh, there's a bath. Should we bother the king? I don't know if we should bother the king. Yep. Nope, nothing. We'll talk to the king later when we have something to report. You don't really... It's not kosher to just go and presume you get to talk to the king. Okay, who are you? Have we talked to you? Lucius? I think we did. Yes, Ambassador Lucius, that's right. Sorry. My apologies. We need a key. Ah, man, there's a way to get that key and I don't remember what it is. Maybe we should go talk to Sir Roth. First I have to figure out how to get out of here. Oh, man. Let's see. So where was Sir Roth? He was up here somewhere, I think. Y'all like the music from this game? I think it's pretty good. Oh, a bookshelf. Living in the Trees. Oh, jeez. Volume 96. Living in the Trees, Introduction. This is among the Aratoians. We'll read one of them right now. Maybe we'll read them as we go. I'm not going to read them all. Amongst Aratoians... I'm not going to read them all at once, in one sitting. Amongst Aratoians, there is a common saying, the poorest clan mother lives better than a king. We've heard about that. As a traveler and scholar of some renown, I have been privileged enough to break bread with several of the autocrats of the Seven Kingdoms, and this statement strikes me as a very bold one. King Tortain of Taborland set a table like none I've ever witnessed. There was a golden plate in the middle of the table, and on it were some of the rarest and most precious of gems. All of it, even the enormous golden plate, were free for the taking. Jeez. That was simply Tortain's way of showing his gratitude and opulence, if truth be known. So you can imagine my quandary when I first heard the brash Aratoian maxim, better than a king. I had to see for myself. Yes, dear reader, I have made it my lifelong endeavor to shed light on every facet of life of the Seven Kingdoms. You will not find a more steadfast reporter of true and factuous information than I, and I live to serve thee. You sound totally trustworthy. Well, we'll read this bookshelf. Those aren't very long. Volume 1. I entered the deep Aratoian wood late in the summer. I was led to believe that many of the bands move about less at this time of year. How wrong my information proved to be. After several days of searching for some sign that these woods were inhabited by creatures other than brutish bears, I was forced to dispatch in order to save my life. Other than the brutish bears I was forced to dispatch in order to save my life, I came across the faintest trail sign which proved that there were people in these woods. I am a tracker and woodsman beyond compare. So when I came across the markings left on the tree, they screamed out to me from across the waste like an eagle. They were close. I touched my finger to the tiny scratches on the tree and felt the sap, still wet from oozing out. My goal was close at hand. I ended up tracking this band for more than 2 weeks before I managed to make contact with them. Whenever I came across their sign, it was from just a moment ago. They managed to elude me, but barely. For as I have already stated, I'm a tracker without peer in this world. Oh my. One moment I was moving quietly along. The next I was surrounded by green and brown clad men, every one of them armed to the teeth. The woodsmen were oddly silent and very watchful of me. I was sure to make no sudden or disturbing motions, lest I alarm these skittish nomads. They began to trickle away one by one. I assumed they intended for me to follow, otherwise they would have pierced me with their deadly arrows and left me to be devoured by wild beasts. I began to follow them slowly at first, but with more and more haste as they began their speedy and ape-like travel through the forest. Speedy and ape-like, huh? They are quite capable of walking with their legs like most civilized people. However, they also travel with their hands swinging in the trees. I couldn't make out the method they used for travel other than they seem to use whatever form expedites their journey the most. One moment they are walking upright, but along the way they will attach themselves to a branch and swing forth like a pendulum. I was astonished and intrigued, and even made some childlike attempts to mimic their odd behavior, which the Aratoyans found quite hilarious. Let's see. One. Well, you know, I'm actually enjoying this, so sorry. This isn't as long as I thought, but, you know, whatever. Maybe I'll leave some marks to markers to skip the story. What do you call it? Timestamps if you want to skip it. But this is like, this game is, it's, what's its motto? Its little catchphrase, played any good books lately? This is supposed to be reading heavy, so here it is. When I came into the camp with that the band had made, I asked to speak with Clan Mother. The entire band became very quiet and suspicious. I saw not a few arrows become knocked with motions so deft, fluid, and silent. I'm still shocked I caught them at all. For one moment, I was worried that one of the more foolish among them would loose an arrow at me and end my journey where I stood. My worries were misplaced, as I soon would learn. Only the most solid and adept among them are allowed to handle weapons in camp. They began whispering among themselves, and finally an exceptionally old woman jumped down from the trees and held up her hands. All fell silent. "Now why would you speak with me?" she boomed. I took a moment to lift my jaw from the dangling state it had assumed. The woman had to be older than the oldest Fornaxan wizards, and she jumped down from an enormous height, as if it were nothing more than taking a step. I swallowed and told her that I would like to ask her some questions for posterity's sake. She eyed me curiously and nodded, then jumped, grabbed hold of a low branch, and deftly climbing into the denseness of the forest canopy. Sharp-tipped arrows disappeared, and the Aratoyans all resumed their activities. I scrambled into the trees, much to the amusement and delight of the children of the camp, might I add. Though I am a man of the world, tree climbing is not a skill I've been fortunate enough to master. Once above the level of the lower branches, I came to a sort of clearing in the branches, which had been floored with tautly pulled canvas and rough planks. The Clan Mother waved to me from a distance and motioned towards what I assumed was her tent. Inside was one of the most elegant and comfortable abodes I have ever entered. What from the outside was nothing more than the camouflaged canvas was actually a brightly decorated and urbane living quarter. There was no furniture as we understand it. Rather, there were plush cushions and low tables positioned off the sides. Velvets, satins, silks, and cottons of the finest weave and quality adorned every corner of the old woman's home. She positioned herself gracefully on a pile of pillows and began arranging the most delicious refreshments on the table between us. I asked what I was eating, but the aged woman only smiled and said, "If I told you that, then anyone could come live in our forest." Rather than relay to you moment by moment, the details of our conversation, allow me to briefly summarize what I learned from her. The camp that I had been led to was known as a hold. All but the most nomadic of clans has a hold. It consists of a clearing hacked into the branches of the thick canopy centuries ago. This particular hold was more than 300 years old. The forest comes to accept the hold as a part of itself and continues to grow around it. There are usually that's true. You know, trees will eventually adjust to, like, as long as you don't hurt them by your adjustments, they adjust themselves to it and continue to grow around the. It's kind of cool. There are usually only a handful of standing structures within the hold: the clan hall, the clan mother's tent, and the different band houses. A clan is a loose affiliation of anywhere from 3 to 50 bands. As in the case of the Ravenwood Night Clan, the clan I had come across calls itself the Low Birch Theros Clan and consists of 22 different bands. Only 5 of the bands were powerful enough to have band houses in the hold. The others, like the one that led me here, lived out in the forest and protected the clan hold. The markings I had discovered on the tree were actually a border sign separating the clan holds from each other. It's kind of interesting that the Aratoyans live as differently from the rest of the Seven Kingdoms people, it would seem, the Dirtmen, as the Sha'ul do, but they don't have this sort of like fanatical position. They don't take up a fanatical position with regard to other people, you know, like living differently. That's interesting. There is a difference between the hold and the clan hold. The hold is simply the clearing in the trees where the clan hall and the clan mother's tent are located. The clan hold is the hunting and foraging territory the individual clan possesses. The clans zealously guard and defend their clan holds, which are in a state of constant fluctuation depending on the migration of herd animals. An attack on an actual hold is unheard of. The hold is considered sacred space guarded by ancestral spirits. Any individual or band that attacks a hold is black-marked and hunted down by all woodsmen regardless of clan affiliation. Even at the height of the fall of Thance, the holds remained safe places and refuges from the fighting. Opposing clans will defend each other's holds, then return to killing each other over their clan holds the very next day. A curious but oddly inspiring state of affairs. Yeah, that is interesting. In fact, I have to say, I think if the if the freaking Sha'ul had first met the Aratoyans, I don't know this war would have even started. They sound like they would have gotten along just fine. The position of clan mother is a holy one. Physically, she's the oldest living descendant of the original line of the clan, sometimes going back more than 1,000 years. Spiritually, the clan mother is a direct link to the spirits of the clan's communal ancestors. She is capable of holding palaver with them. I don't know what that is, but it sounds like some sort of divination. That sounds like necromancy of some sort. And bringing answers back to the clan when the need arises. I asked the clan mother what her name was, so I might refer to her by name in my book. She smiled softly and told me that her name was Clan Mother, and beyond that she has no identity. The person she was before died when she was made Clan Mother, and her relatives mourn her as already dead. Clan Mother never dies. Typically, the Clan Mother was the band matron of one of the various bands that make up the clan. Aratoyan ancestry passes matrilineally, so the oldest female of the band is usually the leader. The bands are all relegated to each other through blood, though each represents a different family. Once a boy reaches the age 15, he is cast out of his band and must make a place for himself among another band, thus maintaining the flow of Aratoyan blood. The females of the band remain all their life unless they should be called to be Clan Mother. In that case, they belong to all the bands. That's interesting. So they send the dudes out to make sure that they don't get genetically stagnant. But if they are ancestry passes matrilineally, then most likely the most important dudes in this, men in this, among these Eritreans would be the brothers of the dominant females. So in that case, you wouldn't get, like chastised or scolded or, your butt whipped by your father, but rather by your maternal uncle would be your authority, your male authority figure in your life. Let's see. 9A. Okay. The clan hall is a meeting area within the hold that the clan uses when they need to conduct clan business. Clan business includes declaration of war by the nation of Eritoi or the clan itself, nomadic migration rights, inter-band disputes, and the appointment of a new clan mother. The clan mother's tent is passed from mother to mother. In fact, the very furnishings of the tent can sometimes be generations old. No one, but that's, that's the same thing as people who live in houses, but you don't think of it in tents, maybe. I don't know. No one is ever allowed to enter the clan mother tent without invitation, under the penalty of death. The Eritreans are strict about enforcing this rule too. Interruption is believed to cloud her line of communication with the spirits, or at least that's what they tell you. The individual band houses are a much more complicated story. Only a band strong enough to defeat a primary band can have a band house. As for the clans, there are two types, old clans and new clans. There are 14 old clans, each of them going back centuries before the fall of Thants. The new clans mostly date back to the fall of Thants and, in the case of a few, only a few decades. Oh geez. The new clans all have single word names like Balin clan. The old clans all have 2-word names. Like the Balin clan. No, I'm just kidding. During the fall of Thants and the years that followed, immigrants began flooding into Eritoi and forming clans of their own. The old clans added an additional word to their names to differentiate themselves from the newer clans. There are now total over 100 clans in Eritoi, but that number is constantly fluctuating. A strong band will sometimes break off and form their own clan. Young men that have been cast out of their band and haven't found a band to take them in sometimes found that form their own clan. They steal women and children from other clans and start their own line. Practices such as this are ancient and accepted in Eritrean society. You hear about that, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in certain North American, Native American tribes did stuff like that. If there's a really great movie, if you remember, Last of the Mohicans, but there was another movie that came out about the same time, but I think it was a made-for-TV movie, but it was really good, called Broken Chain, and I've talked about this before on my channel, I think in my Chasm videos, but anyways, really great video. A lot of the same actors that played in Last of the Mohicans played in it, like Eric Schwag, Wes Studi. I don't know if Russell Means played in it, but a lot of good actors. And now, what's his face? Dude who played James Bond in GoldenEye, I can't remember his name. Anyways, he wasn't in Last of the Mohicans, but still. But a very good movie, and the main character in that, Joseph Brant, was an Iroquois war leader, and he takes as his wife a Delaware woman that they capture, who was a member of a different tribe, a different people that they had captured, and he became his wife. It was like a practice they had. Kind of jarring, I would think, but it did keep you from inbreeding, I suppose. But, hard times call for hard ways, maybe, but I don't know. There is such a thing as the bad old times. Alright, as for the clans, there are two types, old clans and new clans. There are 14 old clans, each of them having... Oh, I just read this, didn't I? Yes, I did. The clans place great importance and reverence on wood lore, specifically the skills of archery, tracking, hunting, and stealth. Children begin at an extraordinarily young age to master these skills. That's interesting, right? You can tell what people's culture revolves around like what they teach their kids from an early age, and it's like one of the things that, like, for instance, like the Jews, for a long time, before most people had universal education or general education even, they would teach their boys would go and study to be literate in Hebrew from a very early age, as well as learning a trade, because they value literacy so much. And so here, the Eritreans value wood lore. Children begin learning to climb trees before they learn how to walk, and as soon as they are strong enough to pull a bow, they begin archery lessons. These skills are viewed as vital to survival in their society, as well as being another aspect of their rich tradition. Different clans and bands place more or less significance on different skills. A band that mostly hunts and defends the clanhold will emphasize archery and hunting, whereas a band that concentrates on attacking other clanholds and tracking herds will place more value on stealth and tracking. Some Eritreans achieve a level of skill to where they are selected to be in what is called the Hold Guard. The Hold Guard are the only ones allowed to carry weapons inside the hold. All others must either enter unarmed or disarmed in their band house. There are few people anywhere in the world whose skill in wood lore can match that of a Hold Guard. Huh. Those are the people who he was talking to when they first got into the hold, I guess. I then made... Is this... Okay, yeah. Is that right? 11? Was there any others? Felix Apprentice. Oh yeah, it's Felix Apprentice. Who's that? Huh. Looks like there's some missing. Well, we'll just... Maybe there isn't. I then made the mistake of asking about her conversation with the ancestral spirits. The Clanmother's eyes went very wide and she got up and left her tent. Shortly thereafter, 2 hold guards entered the tent with arrows knocked and asked me, quite politely I might add, if I would leave the hold. I was astonished, but to tell the truth. But dear friends, what other choice did I have? I gathered myself and descended from the trees, followed all the way by the guards. When I reached the ground, they blindfolded me and led me around the forest. I tried to maintain my sense of directional perception, but it was futile. We traveled in circles, up trees, across thick branches, down another tree. I had no hope of remembering where I was. After some time, they stopped me, and I was left standing for a moment. Then the blindfold fell away. I turned around to discover that the guards had disappeared. I spent the next few weeks searching the forest for sign of another clan. I came across a band occasionally and attempted to make conversation with them. Unfortunately, they seemed to know already who I was, and they refused to answer my question, no matter the subject. They merely indicated the shortest route out of the forest, and encouraged me to be on my way. I never felt threatened. I was simply treated like an outsider, a true interloper. I was unwelcome. After several weeks of this treatment, I became dejected and made my way to Paraguay, where I was treated with the same courteous distance as in the forest. To say the least, I grew weary of this behavior and left Eritrea within a few days. Since returning to a world with customs and mores I'm more familiar with, I find I regret having to leave Eritrea on bad terms. I found their culture compelling and their traditions stirring to the blood. I hope one day to return to their forest and continue my study, but I fear this will not happen for many years. So, friends and admirers, I have once again descended into the wilds and returned unscathed. I risked my life and safety time and time again, but only to bring you true and important information. Without complete understanding of ourselves, how can we hope to understand the vastness of our world? Until we meet next, may your visions be true ones and your dreams be worthy. Volume number 96. Typically, this means a band must have considerable age, therefore a large population and strong tradition. However, it is not uncommon for a young and particularly ruthless band to take control of a band house. Also, bands of considerable wealth are known to purchase a band house, but this practice is frowned upon. Inter-band disputes are common and incredibly violent. The balance of power within a band will ebb and flow, with the clan mother moderating it through the influence of the clan's ancestors. A new band is formed when a band matron comes into conflict with the band mother. Usually there is a struggle of some sort and a factionalization of the band follows. Rather than allow the factions to battle it out, the clan mother can sometimes intervene and allow the formation of a new band. This is not exceptionally rare, but it is seen as a sign of weakness within the clan. The strongest clans have the fewest bands, like the Long Oak Bury clan, which has only 3 different bands. It is said that a single band of the Long Oak Bury clan can rival any other clan in Aratoy. Huh. Alright, well, there we go. A little bit of some stuff on Aratoy. Isn't that interesting? Hopefully you found it moderately interesting. Dude screwed up and it was rude. So, what did the spirits tell you? She's like, you jerk. Of course, maybe how does he know? How did he know if that was, forbidden verboten? Let's talk to Sir Roth, see if we can get the key to that. Oh, nope, nothing? Darn. I was hoping to get a key from him. Alright, maybe I don't know why I thought you could get a key from him. Well, maybe I'm just dumb. Well, let's get something done. I mean, this episode is going on pretty long, but I want to get something done, so let's, or at least advance our story a little bit. So let's see if we can't find the Sir Osla. Where would he be? Who are you? Sir... Oh. Let's talk to him. May I help you? Please do not take long. I have duties to perform. It's a good thing you said that. I've been meaning to ask some of you about that. Ask me about what, my boy? About your duties. All I see is a bunch of wandering knights. There is more than a body's work to be done here, my boy. A suitably mysterious response. Thank you and farewell. Sure, whatever. Now that I've gone and finished this room, I think I'll go take a stroll in the gardens in the Inner Bailey. Would you care to join me? Regrettably, I must decline. My duties are pressing and I cannot spare the time to properly appreciate such beauty. That's Sir Either. That's the king. Are you here? No, that's the ambassador. Or maybe they're over here. Let's go this way. Felix Apprentice is like, where are we going, yo? I don't know. This way. What's the... Ooh, this dude has his sword out. That's Sir Osla. Should we save? Let's save. Go away! I'm not accepting visitors. You'll want to accept this one, Sir Osla. Leave me alone to my thoughts. Go back to whence you came, fiend, or I shall be forced to run you through. I can see this is going to be difficult. I'll return in a moment. Sir Osla has refused to speak with me concerning the letter Sir Either alleges he has in his possession. I spoke to Sir Osla today. Rather than, I should say, I attempted to speak with him. He exclaimed to me noisily that I was disturbing him and told me to leave. No matter what I said, his reaction was the same. Regardless of my questions, he would only tell me to leave. During the time he shouted at me, I bluffed for time to examine his expression. He looked pained and torn, lost, indecisive. I believe he actually shouted at me to distract me from reading his expression. Is this the face? Are these the actions of a traitor? What are his motivations, and what does this mysterious letter say? Perhaps Sir Either will have a suggestion on how to coax Osla into handing over the letter. He is, after all, still his countryman. Alrighty. Let's go back to Sir Aether's room. Wait, I think maybe we should go this way. I can't remember. I totally missed him last time, I think. Or maybe I didn't. I don't know. I can't remember. All I'm thinking about now is Eretwain bands and clan mothers. Holds and clans and eras and what have you. Have you spoken with Osla yet? In a matter of speaking, Sir Aether, I can't get the letter from him and he won't even talk to me. That's not my problem, kid. Be more persuasive. With your pen or your sword. Huh. Good idea, Sir Aether. I shall return. What a jerk. Told me to be more persuasive with pen or sword. I don't know. Sir Aether seems like a jerk. Should we ask? Let's talk to the... Let's just talk... Let's talk to Queen Nanissi. If you've got something to say, my dear, I entreat you to foist it upon my husband's ears. She smiles warmly. Of course, Your Highness. She's like, don't waste my time. Hello, Your Majesty. Young man, what are you doing in here? Forgive me, Your Majesty, I must have the wrong room. Excuse me. Nope. Alright, I didn't think anything would happen if we talked to him. At least not yet. Not yet. Felix Prince is like, what the heck are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. Just winging it. Oh, Sir Osla, I'm being more persuasive. You again. I thought I told you. I know about the letter, Sir Osla. I know it tells who the traitors are. Give me the letter, and I assure you that the alleged traitors will be given a fair trial. Oh, so you know the truth. He sighs. I would say no more, Sir Osla. Hand me the letter, and I shall be on my way. But aren't you going to read it first? Read it? Sir Aether told me. So Aether told me you, has he? Are you in league with him? In league with him? He asked me to investigate a letter implicating a traitor. Why? Where are you going to take it? To Sir Aether, of course. He's the one that requested. Read the letter, son. I'm sure that Aether has not told you the complete truth. As you wish. The letter is actually a communique from Oberon to the traitor to Aether. It contains orders. So, now you understand. I understand that Aether is a traitor and tried to get me to confiscate evidence that will now be used against him. One question still remains, Sir Osla. Why did you keep this letter to yourself if it implicates Aether and Oberon? He deeply sighs. Oberon was one of my countrymen and a highly decorated one. I patterned myself after him. He was a role model for me. I was horrified to discover that he was a traitor. I did not plan to hold on to the letter forever. I was just trying to decide when the time was right and who I could trust with it. You must understand, I only recently came into possession of it. Like how recently? Like a few days or like a few hours? I understand, Sir Osla, but Oberon's treachery is already known among the officers of Avalon. Allow me to bring this news to the king. Thanks, kid. I knew I could trust you. Well, I'll let you know what happens, Osla. Like, how long did he have that? Long enough that they could have stopped the expedition from getting butchered, or just not long enough? Let's see, we have a quest. I am to return the letter Sir Osla had to King Rentz directly. I have read Sir Osla's letter, and the truth of the matter is that Aether is the traitor mentioned in the text. Oh, no, wrong room. Your Majesty, I have something to tell you now. Child, you look as though there's a good enough reason to excuse your intrusion. Speak. I was approached by Sir Aether earlier today with some disturbing news. He told me that he believed that Sir Osla was a traitor, and that he had found and that he had in his possession a letter that proved it. He asked me to retrieve the letter for him, perhaps thinking I would have more luck with Sir Osla than he would have. Yes. What happened? Do you have the letter? And what of Sirs Ursula and Aether? I went to Sir Ursula, and at first he would not speak to me, but eventually I got through to him, and he showed me the true contents of the letter. It is a missive between General Oberon, who, as I'm sure you're aware, is a known traitor, and Sir Aether. Sir Ursula and I decided that I should come immediately to you with this document, and let you decide what is to be done. I have the letter on my person, Your Highness. King Rience takes the letter from you and reads it slowly. You have acted thoughtfully and quickly in this matter, and I applaud your efforts. Aether shall be dealt with. Guards! Have Sir Aether arrested immediately on charges of treason. You are dismissed, son. You've done me a great service, and I shall not forget it. Thank you, Your Highness. And we got training points. Very good. Yay. Alright. So let's go tell Sir Ursula. And then we're going to wrap up this episode, which has gone on for far too long. All because I got carried away reading books. Whoa. What's the news, kid? I spoke to the king, and Sir Aether is to be put on trial. Beyond that, I understand that no charges are to be filed against either of us. That's wonderful, kid. You have my gratitude. If ever you need my help, you've but to ask. Thank you, Sir Ursula. I'll remember that. Hey, thanks again, kid, for your help. Is there anything I can do for you? Not at this moment, good Sir Ursula. Farewell. Alright, cool. Well, that was definitely something. That scumbag Aether tried to get Callan here to help him retrieve the evidence that would convict him. Yeah, and blame his friend. What a punk. Anyways, we foiled that, and we learned something about the Eretonians and why they don't like being in this darn castle. This is totally not like life as they're used to. In many ways, they live much more like the Sha'ul than the rest of the Seven Kingdoms, but like I said, they're not fanatics about other people living differently in their own lands. So, next time we will continue our explorations of the inner keep. We'll go downstairs to the first level, and we'll continue on. So thank you for joining me on this rather long episode of my Let's Play of The Siege of Avalon. Here on my channel, Idle Wisdom. Take care, y'all.